Hello, welcome to the Sulk stream. It's Monday. Welcome to Monday, and we have a start of another week. And here we go. I hope you guys are doing good. It is Monday, right? Right, it's Monday. I have to actually check. It is Monday. I lose track of time. It all kind of melds together and whatever. It is what it is. It's Monday. All right. Today I got the right day. So there we go. You know, sometimes it's a Sunday. I don't fucking know. How you guys doing? I hope you guys had a good weekend. I hope you guys held it together and, tried to better yourselves as much as you could. But if you didn't, I forgive you. And just know I believe in you. Anyway, so thanks for coming. Tonight we're going to be doing Labubus. Labubus. Little dolls that people love, and I feel like I've gone through this same kind of thing, God, several times by now. There's Beanie Babies, there was Furbies, there was those Tickle Me Elmos. Those weren't quite collectibles, but there's been a number of them. People go wild for this. It's a type of gambling. That's what it is. When you have this blind box kind of architecture in your sales, it's gambling. It's getting, oh, I hope I get this one. Oh, I did. Fuck, I don't care. Is your life so meaningless to where you're just spending hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars on a plush toy that's easily faked from China? Yes. They're doing that because what else do they have? They have nothing. They can't save up for a vacation. They can't save up for a house. They can't save up for a fucking family. What do you expect out of them? Give them this. Jesus Christ, you got down their throats when they had avocado on their toast. And ooh la da, oh wow. Living the high life, you're never going to make it in life if you just keep spending willy-nilly on your avocado toast on your thing that literally grows on trees. Trees! So thanks for coming and welcome. I hope you guys are doing good, as I already said. And we're gonna take a journey down this weird fucking bullshit and see how we feel at the end. I mean, you know my show. You know this show. It's the Sulk. Yeah, I'm the Sulk. I'm the incredible Sulk, and I'm here to bring you joy and happiness and, laughter? I don't know. That's all I got for you. That's all I can do. But I'm going to bring all I can. That's what I'm going to try. I might not add a lot to society. I might be useless in every other facet of my life. But, if I can make you laugh for a couple hours, then fuck. That's all I need. I don't need a little fucking Labubu. I don't want one. I really don't. I don't even know why people do. But maybe you should let them have their good time. Anyways, get comfy, get cozy, grab a nice Labubu to cuddle up with, or a Bratz doll, or your Tamagotchi, or whatever you happen to have. Whatever pile of bullshit that'll be worthless in 2 years, bring that on down and have a couple drinks with me. I'm not drinking tonight, but, pretend that I am. Pretend that I'm slurring my words and barely holding it together on like a psychological level. You don't have to pretend. I am. If you're working, keep working. If you're driving, please continue to drive and drive safely. Get home. Hit the like button on your way in. I would appreciate it very much. Anyways, guys, I'm the Incredible Sulk. This is the Sulk Stream. And this is called Gen Z Lives in a Luxury Simulation. Enjoy.
Listen, ignore the fact I'm talking about social media trends here. This video isn't really about Labubus or Dubai f***ing chocolate.
Why does this guy look like this?
It's about how we got
Looks
here.
weird.
It's about how a generation priced out of land, homes, and even the future itself now performs status involved for the silliest, smallest objects on the internet. For it's not just the performance of wealth. It's the only wealth we have left. Welcome to the age.
I never get here this early. Intro music is nice. Grunting is weird. Am I grunting a lot? Do I grunt?
Of simulated luxury.
Thought says I actually focused on becoming a worse person. At this point, I believe that because it's just like, I mean, what's it matter? You do what you want to do, Thought. You chase those dreams with all your little heart, and you capture those butterflies of happiness or sorrow or whatever vibe you're trying to go with. Just know I'm behind you. I support your decision. Dad sounds.
Now what exactly is...
I do make a lot of dad sounds. I am a dad. I am a father and like a present one. So I think I've won and like just points them out. I'm like, shut up. Shut up. Like, come on. I have the right to make these sounds. I'll just sit there on the couch. Everyone stared at me. They're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm dying." I'm dying. I'm like, I'm halfway there. It's like I have a loading bar, and that is my life, and it's 50% green. At least, I don't get to see it. It's just over my head, like shimigami eyes, right? You know what I'm going to die, but I don't.
Simulated luxury. Current luxury consumer trends like Labubus, matcha lattes, and those fucking steel suitcases you've been psyoped into liking.
Just during the intro, I wasn't ready for it. I thought maybe you farted. No, I coughed. Because this Lost Mary I bought is fucking harsh. And I know you hear me, so I was really trying to like hold it back because I hate doing that. But it was a cough. I didn't fart. And I would tell you if I farted.
How I hate those fucking steel suitcases. How are these trends fundamentally different from any other consumer trend at any other point in
watching the game after Thanksgiving dinner sounds? Yeah, exactly. And you have a bunch of dads in that same room. It's like uncles and aunts, and sometimes aunts are the worst. Because they'll have like belly sound, like their belly's like, right? You like look over and you're like, ew. That's a fart brewing. You know that's a fart brewing. And that's not something you could be like, oh, that's a fart. It's like a fart that's like an hour away. That's what that is. If you're all lucky. If it's closer, then it's going to be stinky.
History. Why is your social media feed all of a sudden filled with garbage by people pretending to be rich? For some vital context on how this fissure happened and what that means for us as a generation, we have to go back to the beginning of modern capitalism.
Thought says, I listened to grown adults the other day talking about cosplay. I was like, this is exclusively for the childless. Not exclusively. I would like to do cosplay. I really would. But I do have children, so I don't have the time. And if I did have the time to like do it, I know they would destroy it. If I had like a mannequin and I was building like a sweet like Ezio Auditore from Assassin's Creed build, my son would be like, I want to wear that, and he would destroy it. And he would destroy it, and then I would, through all my hard work, it would just be like, well, why do I even try? Why do I even try to have nice things for myself? My life is about something else now. Now I have to make sure he doesn't burn the house down. That's what's important. Fuck the fucking cosplay. I'm not going to have time to go to any sort of like conventions or anything to show it off anyway, because I constantly have these kids that need me always. 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 Not that I don't love my kids. I absolutely do. It's just sometimes daddy needs a break. You know? Sometimes daddy needs a break. And I'm sure my wife feels the same way, but I'm really more focused on me. You know?
Just kidding. We're going back to like 1995. After being fired from a sales position at the toy manufacturer Dakin in 1986, a young entrepreneur named Ty Warner would liquidate his life savings and take out a second mortgage on...
Renee says, true, I don't even have nice things still, and mine aren't even little anymore. How old are yours? Do you have, like, what, teenagers?
...his house to start his own line of toys. Toys he would obsess over for the next 7...
Here's the thing. I have boys. I have a 4-year-old, and then he's 14 months old. My second. And they're the most destructive thing. I could have a litter of puppies that I just left in my living room while I went out and stuff, and I come back, and it wouldn't be as bad as me when they destroy the house. They destroy everything. Everything I have or love, video game controllers, smashed. Right? Batteries removed, taken apart. It's like, how do you even do this? Like, so if they destroy something, I just throw it in the garbage. I don't even try to fix things anymore. I'm like, that was good. Sometimes I don't even get it. Like, it comes in Amazon, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm excited, and I see it. And then they're like, Daddy, let us see. And then they destroy it before I even turn it on. Yep. So, you know. But it is about them. I don't want to ruin their childhood just because, you know, I want to, you know, have nice stuff. And, like, the things that I do are too complicated for their little minds. So they can't really, like, enjoy what I do or, like, play the things because they're just not advanced enough. They're young, right? They're kids. They're babies. But they still want to spend time with me, so I have to really lower my, you know, like, you need a certain level of stimulation, especially me. I have some sort of brain disorder, right, where I need to constantly be stimulated. Whatever you want to call it, it is what it is. And so I need a certain level of stimulation just for the dopamine to actually fire and for me to actually be somewhat not bored out of my mind. But they don't have the capability to do the same thing, right? Not that they won't ever. It's just right now they're little children, and so they're growing, and they have to learn everything, and very, very slowly. And so I have to lower myself to that. And I can't just be like, no, screw off, kid. Because they're literally my sons, you know, they want to spend time with me. And on a level, I also want to spend time with them. But sometimes I would like to have a hobby, you know. This is not a hobby for me. I like doing this. But I consider this more work. I would like to have something where I'm not like, you know, where I'm not upset if it goes badly. Which is nothing in my life, because you guys might not realize this, but I'm a little OCD. I'm kind of a perfectionist. Maybe you have noticed that, because I wear the same color shirts, and they're always pressed, and like, you know, I run the lint brush on them and stuff, and they have to be just so. And so maybe you have noticed that. But like being like that, and then constantly putting out fires left and right, it drains my patience. It drains my patience. Not that I would have it any other way, but you know, I understand why some dads just like lock themselves in the garage and fucking, crank dad, dad rock and stuff, and then drink beers, and then like, I don't know, try to like work on their car and stuff. But there's a lock on that door. They're not even working on their car. They're just sitting there drinking beer. I feel like an old-timey prohibition dad, right? Where you go down in the basement and you have that one light bulb and you fucking take the light, it's just swinging back and forth and you're just shaking, drinking scotch. That's parenthood. I mean, that is a fucking analogy if I can ever make one. You're just in a wife beater, you're kind of dirty from the coal mines or something like that, and you just need a second apiece. Oh my God. Oh my God. Daddy! I'm like, oh my God. You're like, my wife is there too. She stays home. We're both home all day. This is what I do. We're both home. I'm just like, a lot of men go off to work all day. And I understand why now. It's not because like, oh, I have to go. No, it's you get a little bit of peace. You get to go off to the office where it's fucking quiet, and then you fucking, I don't know, surf on the internet. I imagine that's what they do. I don't give a shit though.
After perfecting his product, Ty would launch his line of toys.
Despite says I always assumed it was just one shirt. Yeah, it is. I just, when it gets too dirty, I just turn it inside out, and then I wash it on the weekends when you guys don't see me, and I just walk around shirtless. Because I only have one shirt.
Known as Beanie Babies. At the North American International Toy Fair in New York during February of 1993.
You write gray shirt on Saturday? You wear a gray shirt on Saturday. I do. I actually have a couple of different colors. Look. So I have this, yes, and I have them all here. This is actually a kind of an army green. This is an army green number. And, when the laundry really gets low, I get this, I have it's a tank top. Sometimes I go to the beach. Can't always wear black shirts. And there's also the gray shirt. Yes, there is a gray shirt. I do wear this on Saturday. And you're like, John, why are all your shirts right here in your office? I'm like, that's a good question. I honestly don't have an answer for that.
After a lukewarm launch, Ty would go back to his home
city in Chicago. I didn't even realize it until we started talking about my shirts. But yes, I was like, because it was funny. Earlier today, I was like, where the fuck are all my shirts? They're right here. They're right here amongst my armor and my camouflage and my, it's my riot armor, my camouflage, my ghillie suit. Yeah. I'm fucking ready. I'm prepared. I got a fucking claymore over there. Not like the mine. It's a 6-foot long sword.
And began distributing toys in small batches for $5 each. Only selling to small retailers rather than big box stores like Toys R Us or Walmart.
That says every single one of John's shirts is better than this dude's shirt. What a F slur. Yeah, he definitely seems like an absolute slur. Pick your poison. But he is a slur. Whatever slur you want, I'm just going to go ahead and start peppering out those. He's a slur. Go ahead and try to fucking hit me on the YouTube I can't say slur. I literally cannot say the word slur. No, this guy is an absolute slur. I've beat the system. I've done it. Yeah. God, but I want to say it so bad, because look at this douchey shirt. Oh, you're so edgy and shit. Look, you got the upside down crosses and the pentagram and stuff like that. Wow, you must be so cool. I bet you bang fat goth chicks all the time. No, I doubt that. And not like the hot goth chicks with like that nice rack and stuff. No, like the big fat ones. The big fat hot topic fatso ones. You filthy slur. Or it might just be dudes. He might just take it in the ass.
The next 2 years have proved difficult for Ty, with many retailers refusing to carry large quantities of the toys.
Slur. 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 Slurp? I wouldn't say slurp. Why would I call him a slurp? No. Look at this slurp over here. A what?
To combat this, Ty would make his toys scarce.
Thought says I like it. Let's make slur the new slur. Right? Because we're on this kind of this treadmill, right? Where it's all like we can say a word until it gets too offensive and then they get blocked. And then we make up a new word. And then we say that until it gets too offensive until it gets blocked. So let's just say slur. If we say slur, what word are we going to use for the actual thing besides slur? Are we going to say no word? Well, then I'll just start saying he's a big old no word. Huh? You can't stop us. You can't stop me. It's not the actual words that you have a problem with. It is the messaging behind the words. You just don't want to be the person who'll be like, well, no, I don't want to stop like opinions and stuff. You do. You absolutely do. This is why you're trying to censor speech and change little words and stuff like that and just be like, oh, no, it's too offensive. You just can't say that. I can. I want to. I really do. But don't worry about it because I'm creative enough to just think of another word. And then you're going to be so fucking butthurt and pussy about it that I'm not going to be able to say that. Until one day, there's just going to be a YouTube dictionary of the allowed words. And then I'm going to have to just fucking scroll through that. Just go, well, hello, ladies. No. Hello. Zers and Zims. I would like to welcome you to... You can't use anything. It's just you can't... So I'm going to need fucking some sort of guidance here. We're like going into this like weird area where it's like... I don't know. I'm fucking tired of it. Am I still allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say the F word? It's not a slur. It's just a curse word. You can pepper those in whenever you want. Right? But for some reason, you can't say these very specific words. It's gay. It's super duper gay. I can still say gay. Just like that big gay guy. But I can't say the real word. The real thing is...
Only allowing retailers to carry 36 of each individual Beanie Baby every month.
You sound so punk rock right now. I don't know if you're making fun of me.
I
don't know.
In 1995, amongst middling sales, Ty would unexpectedly halt production of a new Beanie Baby called Peanut the Elephant, simply because he didn't like the royal blue color it was printed in, replacing it instead with a lighter blue.
I really do hate this guy with his tiny little mustache, and like your color balance is off. This is way too red. Why did nobody tell you about that? I mean, there's a lot of views on this, but nobody told you about that? Let's see. If I wasn't a Muslim, okay, downvote, I would have ended my life already from the pain. Yeah, but you're a Muslim, so... Yeah, downvote. Can you just comically keep turning up the saturation until you're a deep shade of red? Upvote. He's a tomato.
Elephant. A very, very small decision that would launch the Beanie Babies craze.
I don't like Muslims.
Of the 1990s. It turns.
No, I'm sorry. Look, dude. I would like Muslims if I didn't have so much experience with them.
Middle-class women in suburban Chicago.
If I've never heard of a Muslim before, and you just said, "Hey, what do you think about Muslims?" I'd be like, "Oh, well, no opinion." But now that I do have experience with Muslims, I am firmly against Muslims.
Chicago were really into collecting these things. They began calling around small toy stores in Chicago, asking if they still had the original Peanut, as they were now unable to complete their collections. The suburban moms started phone trees, newsletters, all informing each other on where to get a royal blue peanut.
Rob says, I have probably said the F slur every day since middle school. You can't take it from me. No, they can't. They sure can't. They sure can't. But if you want to have like a YouTube career or something like that, where if you want to have access to the levers of power, if you have any sort of ambition whatsoever, you kind of have to let go of that, because they want to control you as well. They control the levers of power. And so they have to control you in turn. So that I can't just, unless I want to start my own website, which honestly, I'm not Alex Jones. No one's going to come watch that. No one's going to come to john.com, which it's probably already taken. You know, sulk.net, sulk.gov, sulk.gov. That could be one. Ardenshire, fucking go to GoDaddy and buy that domain name.
Spending hundreds of dollars just to get their hands on one. Ty's neurotic redesigning and perfectionist tendencies had inadvertently created a scarcity market for Beanie Babies and grassroots hype around the product long before social media.
Lines there. We found them waiting at a store.
Rob says, I'm a screen printer and a firefighter. How many chick firefighters you got there? Is that really useful? A lot of chick firefighters. They carry men out of burning buildings and stuff like that. You know how hard it is to become a firefighter? I mean, like, Rob knows because he is one. But, like, you have to be, like, the best. You have to be, like, 6'4" and be able to do a mile in 5 minutes. Like, you have to... And it's like, oh, but what about the girls? Yeah, let's do that. Let's put them in a cute little fireman outfit and stuff and give them an axe and then, into the burning building, Susie. Dude, imagine you're stuck in a roasting... It's on fire. The house is on fire. You're trapped in stuff and you're scared for your life. And then the fucking door swings open and it's a fucking 90-pound female. And you're like, fuck! Fuck! And then you both burn to death. You both burn to death. Because she walks in, she's like, I can't believe I'm scared, I'm lost. How do I get out of here? She didn't even mean to find you. She went in, immediately got lost in the flames. There you go. That's tax dollars right there. That's tax dollars right there, you know. I don't know why we do it. I know why we do it. I know exactly why we do it. It's to destroy society. That's what it is. It's to have everyone, everyone's a replaceable cog, right? So, but that's not true. That's not actually true. We're not all replaceable cogs. We're not all the same. Well, you know, some of us are stronger, some of us are weaker, some of us are smarter, and some of us legitimately are stupid as fuck. Very stupid. Very, very stupid. So you can't just, put one person here and be like, oh, yeah, throw another. No, man. You're going to fuck everything up. And that's the plan. That has always been the plan. That's why they have these DEI programs making fucking, trans black women pilots and, like, aircraft engineers. And what do you know? Fucking airplanes start falling out of the sky. No one saw that shit coming, huh? They did. They did.
I think we're stupid to stand in line to get a bag of beans.
You'll admit that?
I admit it.
Later that year, Ty would launch Ty.com, the very first direct-to-consumer website for a toy company. He would use this avenue to announce new product launches, what products would be retired, all fueling the frenzy around a toy that people...
Yeah, you're a volunteer. Okay, fine. But still, my point stands.
Now saw as a speculative investment, often lining up to buy 50 at a time.
Art and Shara says, sorry, the only thing available is sulk.org or sulk.me. Org. Obviously org.
Flip them after they've been retired for thousands of dollars. By 1997, Beanie Babies accounted for 10% of all sales on eBay. Ty would collaborate with McDonald's.
That's wild. Did you guys have Beanie Babies? I didn't buy any Beanie Babies. I was alive for this entire era and stuff like that. My family didn't buy Beanie Babies. I think we might have gotten some from McDonald's or something like that. But those even got pretty expensive. People started collecting those. I'm like, they're McDonald's toys. People would go and like buy McDonald's just for the Beanie Babies and like throw the food away. I'd be like, no, let me take that food. We got to throw it away in front of homeless people and like orphans and stuff like that. Because it's funnier.
to release
it's funny like that.
Happy Meal toy.
Now at McDonald's.
But I'll be like, oh, sweet, let me see that Beanie Baby. And then I just rip it open and all the beans go everywhere. I'm all like, no one's happy now. No one's happy now. Everyone is just like me. Everyone's just like me. No one's happy. That's how I live my life.
Your kids can get Beanie Babies and a Happy Meal. Real Tide Beanie Babies in a mini size.
McDonald's would sell 100 million teeny beanies in 9 days, which depleted the stock for a campaign that was supposed to last 5 weeks. Sorry, just sit with that for a second. McDonald's sold 100 million Happy Meals in 9 days to suburban moms who were buying them primarily for the total side. So much so that they were averaging 4 Happy Meals per transaction.
In New York, people were paying for Happy Meals, but telling McDonald's to keep the food. They just wanted...
Damn, these things are harsh. Gotta turn off the turbo on them. Thought says, I had one Beanie Baby that comforted me through a childhood trauma. If that baby could talk. If that little Beanie Baby could talk. I'd rip him open and spread his beans all over the place.
McDonald's remains upbeat even as its customers lose patience.
By 1998, a USA Weekend poll estimated that 64% of American households had at least one Beanie Baby in it.
Ania says, I don't think Labubus will be worth anything in the future. Of course they won't. Of course. Dude, how many times have we seen this? And there's always going to be like a bunch of suburban white moms that are going to buy out the stock and just have a room full of them. You know exactly what I'm talking about. A room that a child should have been in, by the way. But no, she was like barren or whatever. And instead of fucking, doing that, or maybe she just didn't get picked. So she's not even a mom. She's just a middle-aged white woman. And so, instead of having a baby, she just filled one of the rooms with Beanie Babies, wall to wall, and then it'll be like that for the next 30 to 50 years until she dies. And then, I don't know, maybe a nephew or a niece will inherit the Beanie Baby collection, even though nobody wants it. It's just going to be sold off immediately, and maybe they'll get a little bit of money. But I would completely doubt that. In every bone in my body, in every cancer-riddled bone in my body, I completely don't believe that. No, I don't have cancer. I don't think, but maybe.
And by 1999, Ty Warner would...
What is up with the guy in the video? I don't know. He's a crab people, dude. He's a crab people, and he's satanic. And gay. I don't know if he's gay for a fact, but like... Look at him. Look. He's got Freddie Mercury poisoning. That's what it is. That's the problem. Yeah, which might just be AIDS. Yeah. That's it. I don't need to carry that any further. He's got Freddie Mercury poisoning.
Net a personal income of $662 million. More than Mattel and Hasbro as companies...
He accepted Satan into his heart, and that's what happened to his face? He accepted cum into his ass. That's what happened to his ass.
Combined. Driven by collectors and middle-class anxiety, Beanie Babies would rival Tulip Mania as the proverbial...
I know, that's some mustache. Is he referencing the Dutch futures market back in the 1600s? With the Tulip Mania? Are you really? Are we going to go down that historical timeline? If you guys don't know what I believe he's referencing. Back in like the 16 or 1700s, there was a very special type of tulip that a virus infected these tulips and made a very distinct pattern on these tulips, right? And these tulips would sell for large amounts of gold, a lot of money, right? And so people would pay farmers to grow a lot of tulips and stuff. And this got when they grew, they would take the ones that were like, in fact, they didn't know how it worked, right? They don't know which ones had it and which they didn't understand like the virus. But they would grow a bunch of them And then they would take those and try to sell them on the market. But this got very expensive, right? And so what happened is people would actually sell shares of crops that had not been grown yet, expecting a profit based on how many of those tulips had the virus and were able to sell, right? And so if you know anything about the stock market, this is futures trading. So what happened is a bubble formed, the very first futures bubble, and it crashed the Dutch economy because it just got way too expensive, and then no flowers grew with that specific virus, and it crashed the economy. So there you go, some Dutch history there.
Consumer craze, but like every consumer craze, it all came crashing down in late.
The tulips market proved people are retarded. Exactly. Yes, and so here we are, hundreds of years later, and people are still fucking stupid as ever. Probably dumber.
1999, Ty Warner would announce via Ty.com that he would halt production of all Beanie Babies on December 31st, 1999.
Because Ty, the maker of all things Beanie, announced on its website Tuesday afternoon that all Beanie Babies in distribution right now will be retired at 11:59 p.m. December 31st.
Thrown into the furnace, right? That's what I would do. If I was running this scam, that's what it is, a scam. I would run a commercial where it's just me shoveling Beanie Babies into a furnace, right? Just like, oh, this is Princess Diana Bear, yoink, and then right into a furnace, and then you just get a close-up of it just like burning, right? A real dramatic kind of thing. And then all those suburban moms would just fucking lose their shit and try to buy everyone on the market, not knowing that there was already plenty out there. See, it's just like what De Beers does with diamonds. Diamonds are not actually rare. They're not. They're plentiful. And not only that, we can actually manufacture perfect ones, large, perfect diamonds. But, what's the point of buying a diamond if they're common? Right? You buy a diamond ring because they are rare and they are expensive. And De Beers understood this. This is why they did the entire thing, Diamonds Are Forever, that entire ad campaign. So what De Beers does when there's too many diamonds on the market is they burn them. They throw them into the coal fires and they burn them. Just so they control the market. It is a racket. It is a cartel. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. Yep. But we still buy diamonds, and they're still real expensive, even though they're worthless. They are worthless stones that we can make, and there are plenty of them. We've been tricked into it. Women have been tricked into desiring them. And for a man to, in essence, purchase a woman, he has to give her a big fat diamond ring. And the bigger the ring, the better the woman. This is just kind of how society and culture have been influenced, right? Because who gives a shit about a diamond? Who really gives a shit about a diamond? Women. But nobody that's not a woman or a rapper or a black guy, right? I don't get them. They really like diamonds. Probably for the same reason. It's a status symbol. It is all just a status symbol. It has no true value, and you're pissing away your money. But we still do it.
During this time, people panic bought tens of millions of Beanie Babies, thinking they would...
John, fix your voice input. Please don't tell me. Please don't tell me. Because it was... I don't... Probably for the same reason. It's a status symbol. It is all just fucking coming through my fucking ears. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with my goddamn... Can I have somebody that actually fucking... The status symbol. Probably for the same reason. It's a status symbol. It is all just... Give me a second. Fucking ears. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with my goddamn... Can I have somebody that actually fucking... Is it better now? The status symbol. Probably for the same... Is it... It sounds frizzy. Is it better now? It's good now. Okay.
But lo and behold...
I don't know what the fuck's going on with my... Because this was happening yesterday, too. And I'm like, oh, God, dude. Can I just not have problems?
January 2000 rolled around... And Beanie Babies were...
The mic is not too close. It's like it's something to do with the... It's something to do with the connection. I don't know what.
Still being made due to massive oversupply, which totaled one...
Yeah, Renee says that happened yesterday too, and he didn't believe us for a while. Yeah, I wonder why.
Billion Beanie Babies sold by the year 2000, coupled with a loss of consumer confidence... The secondary market for Beanie Babies crashed practically overnight. Collectors liquidated their entire collections. And the market was now flooded.
Knobs Duck says, no biggie, we're here to make the Bahama John show. A success. You guys are killing me. You guys are actually killing me. You're, like, seriously, I'm turning into a fucking... what's the guy from Jigsaw? Jigsaw. I'm turning into Jigsaw. That was a stupid question. I'm getting dumber. Do you guys realize that? I'm getting fucking dumber. And I'm just like, I'm just dying. I'm just dying slowly. And you guys are watching me do it. I'm turning into Jigsaw, where I'm just going to be like, you know, emaciated. And, you know, I'm going to be like, I'm here. I'm here to fucking guide you down the dark pathway. You guys want to look at society and all the problems we have today? Yeah, it's gotten worse. Yes, I feel like that's the story of my lifetime. Not necessarily my life in general, because my life has gotten better. Yeah, and you'd be like, what? Yes. Yes. But in general, just everyone, life, society has gotten worse. It's just gotten worse. And so I'm here to guide you down that and be like, look, everybody, it's all shit. It's all just a bunch of shit. And we're here and we're just, you know, fucking pull the bar down. We're going down the roller coaster. Whee! You guys want to ride the roller coaster with me? No, there's no up part. No, it's just all down. The up part was our previous generation. Not the Xers, but like the boomers. They had a good time going all the way up. And then they got off at the top, and they're all like, fuck you. Thanks, guys.
With valuable sacks of polyester. And
Does it still sound like shit? There's no up part. No, it's just all down. The up part was our It does still sound like shit. It does still sound like shit. Is there a problem with my main? Hello? See, I can't even fucking... Hello. It's coming through clean in my ears. It's coming through clean in my ears. Shut up, Knobs Dog. So, is there a problem with my main? Hello. See, I can't even fucking... Hello. That sounds better. It's coming through clean in my ears. It's coming through clean in my ears. Shut up, Knobs Dog. Okay, that sounds better. I think that sounds better.
This day, in the year of our Lord, 2025...
I believe you now, but I know you're going to use it against me. I know that.
Beanie Babies still all have dedicated sections at flea markets and thrift stores. The Beanie Baby phenomenon has been written about ad nauseum as yet another example of consumer craze and market collapse. An event not at all unique...
I'm just getting older and uglier, too. Not only on the outside, but on the inside, too. I'm getting, you know... darker. Because I feel like we're going towards the ends. She's kind of cute. For like a 90s chick. Kind of cute 90s chick. Yeah, just getting darker. And, yeah, we'll see what happens. It might be weird.
Or novel. This process has happened with Hot Wheels, Pogs, Furbies, Webkins, Magic Cards, Pokemon...
Onia says, don't forget they told us we were lazy for not being lazy like the boomers, too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This harkens back. This whole Labubu thing harkens back to a better time. There's almost like a nostalgia about it. And I think that's why a lot of people are glomming onto it these days. Is because they remember the time of Beanie Babies and stuff like that, and like a simpler time when people weren't struggling so much, and like, you know, the robots weren't out to kill us, and they're all like, oh, this is, and it's something they can afford too. They're not affording vacations or homes or children or anything like that. So if they could just, this is a problem with all millennials. Well, not all of them, you know what I mean, but like, there is this arrested development amongst the generation because we were not able to actually establish ourselves like the boomers were able to do so early on in their lifetimes. When they were 18, 19, 20 years old, they could easily afford a mortgage that was like $200 a month. That would today be, I don't know, $2,000 a month minimum. And even that wouldn't be that difficult, but it's oftentimes way more than that. I was watching Blank Check yesterday. You know, the 1994 movie with where the kid gets $1 million because of a blank check, and he, you know, has all these fun, wacky times. It's a Disney movie. He went and bought a house. That was for sale. For $160,000. So $160,000. And his mom blew the deal, just as an aside. And it cost him $300,000, which is double what it was being sold for. But again, it listed for $160,000. I went up and I looked up that same house today, and it was worth $7 million. $7 million. $7 million. It was $160,000. Then $7 million. And I'm like, wow, that really upsets me. That really makes me angry. It was a beautiful house. It was a big old castle, 8,000 square feet. It was a very nice house. But if it was for $160,000 today, I would buy 2 of them. I would buy 2 of them, and fucking be like, yeah, I can handle that. That's not gonna. I'll sell popcorn at Disney, and I'll fucking afford the mortgage. I'll collect cans out of trash cans, and I'll be okay. I'll do all right. I'll do fine. $7 million. It was considered overpriced at $160,000. God damn, dude. Don't you feel ripped off? Don't you feel absolutely screwed? I sure do.
Cards, basically any collectible.
No, Blank Check, not Richie Rich. Blank Check. Blank Check. 1994. It's a Disney movie. It's not Richie Rich. It's not. No. Richie Rich was a completely different thing.
With a low entry price and high secondary market. So why am I talking about them? I'm talking about them because Beanie Babies provide key insights to understand the consumer fads of the 2020s. Not because they're similar, but because they're distinctly different. You see, Beanie Babies were a lower and middle class event. The hype was driven by middle-class anxiety and suburban moms who were all speculating on what $5 bag of plastic they could flip to pay off their car or their kids' tuition. It wasn't celebrities.
It might have been the same year. It might have been the same year, yeah.
Waiting in line at McDonald's to buy 10 Happy Meals just so they could throw the food out and collect the toy. It was regular.
I mean, you had the ability to throw the food out just to collect the toys. So talk about disposable income. Like, literally, you're throwing food away. Imagine that world where you're throwing food away. Like, that's crazy. Damn, you're throwing food away so you can get a little, like a little bear? A bear? A little Beanie Baby bear? People didn't know how good they had it. And now they still don't. They still don't because asset price has absolutely exploded. And the house that they bought for $10,000, you know, with their summer job, is now worth $7 million or some fucking crazy shit like that. And they're all like, well, we're just geniuses, I guess. We just fucking nailed it. You're lazy. You're lazy, and now you have to buy our $7 million house or you'll have nowhere to live. Meanwhile, back when they were our age, they were throwing away food so they can get a little bear stuffed with beans. Geniuses.
Other people hoping to make some extra money. Hence, what separates present consumer...
It is. It's a Disney movie that teaches you about check fraud. Not only that, it's very hilarious. It's like a 10-year-old kid, right? And he falsifies a check. And the bank believes it and gives him $1 million cash. And then a super hot bank teller who was not interested in it before, they started dating. And she was 24. And so they had some weird romance. There was a side plot romance where he was dating a 24-year-old bank teller. And he was 10. Because he had $1 million. And I'm all like, this movie's fucking based. This is based as shit, man. Like, cause like that is real. That's some real shit right there. That's real shit. And like, that's just real ass shit.
Ads from those of the past is the function of the object. Unlike Beanie Babies, the value of something like Labubu
Dunstan checks in.
Come from its resale potential. Labubu owners don't lock their toys away in plastic cases and get them graded for imperfections. They wear them. They post pictures with them. They take part in and emulate a small sliver of luxury culture, just like their favorite celebrities on social media. It's about identity and social signaling. Some K-pop singer was photographed with one last April on Instagram, and now the website has been sold out for months. And even though Labubus will come and go, like every other previous consumer fad, they are still fundamentally different. They have a veneer of status, a different form of value.
No, that's not different. That's not different at all. No. This is just another status thing. It's actually just like diamonds. It's something that's worthless, gets marketed as something that you must have, and then the price gets pumped up, and then it's like an entire... It might even be the same thing with crypto. Let me be so real with you. It might be the same thing as crypto. Because crypto is actually worthless. It's not worth anything. It's not even like a way to like pay for things or anything like that. And I know it's worth a lot. I really do. But it's, at the end of the day, it's just numbers. It's just numbers in a computer. It's not worth anything. And you could say the same thing about like American currency. Yeah, sure, that's true. But I mean, we still have to have it to pay our taxes and like buy gasoline and stuff. So at least it has that kind of value. But you guys ever think like Bitcoin might be the same thing as fucking Beanie Babies or Labubus, just like on a longer time scale with like crypto bros and shit like that? Because there's nothing stopping it from being that. There's nothing stopping it. And now boomers are starting to buy it. And like, that's the sign of the end. That's when the boomers start getting into it and pumping tons of money into it. That's the end. That's right before it absolutely all crashes down. In my experience, from what I've seen, that's what happens. It's the same thing with the Beanie Babies. It just happened on a much shorter time scale because the boomers were young when that happened. So they were like the first to it.
Value from previous consumer trends. They exist in a new realm that...
Despite, says, except when Pogs were a thing, I was all in on Pogs. No, that's a good investment. Pogs are a good investment. That shit slaps. That's not a pun. Pogs rock.
Fundamentally changes our understanding of consumer behavior.
One solar flare or EMP and crypto is completely useless. Yeah. Yeah, bad solar flare will make that absolutely just poof. Poof. But I mean, that's the same for all our money. You don't have big stacks of cash at home, do you? I mean, you should, but like 97% of money is all digital. So it'd be smart if you had at least a few stacks of cash. It would. You should probably all do that. Just have some cash on hand. If there is some sort of solar flare or an EMP or something like that, where all the banks go down and your card doesn't run, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue. Just have something tangible that you can trade with people. at the very least.
A new phenomenon called aspirational luxury.
I can hold a Beanie Baby. I can't hold Bitcoin. There you go. Maybe Beanie Babies will come back, right? Maybe the Labubus are just like the Ethereum of the of the Beanie Baby world, right? And the BB is the real thing, right? You don't want the Labubus. You want to trade them for the Beanie Babies. And that's just the economy these days. It's all fucking fake. Everything's fake. Like you go to work and like work 8 hours a day so you can maybe afford one Princess Diana bear or some bullshit, but it's not a real economy. We don't have a real economy. Haven't for a long time. No, this is just a way of keeping people working so they have like some reason to live, but like there's really no scarcity. It's not like we can't make enough food and shelter for people. I mean, yeah. Everything is just money being traded on Wall Street by a few people. I mean, it's a large amount of people, but it's like relatively a few people that are just trying to make as much money as possible. It's not that we don't have all the things we really need. It's that a lot of people are just keeping a lot of their things that they don't need just so they can buy other things. It's not. Look, I'm not a communist. I'm really not, but let's be real. There's plenty of houses. Why are there so many homeless people? Why are there so many homeless people? Why can so many people not afford houses when there's so many empty houses? There's a lot. There's more empty houses than there are homeless people by like a wide margin. But a lot of boomers own multiple houses that they don't even touch. They just have, right? And they don't want to sell them or anything like that. They just have them. They just have them. Not saying you should take it from them, but that is what it is. The economy is not real. Everyone's just trying to get richer, even though they don't really need to. And even if they were to get richer, they wouldn't be able to spend all the money they already have. So it's a game. It's a game that makes people suffer. Yeah, it sucks. And so I'm here to watch you guys suffer. That's my job. Beanie coin. Perfect.
Foids and moids. I've turned down.
What's up, gay dude?
Sponsorships constantly. Here's everything you're seeing on screen right now are sponsorship offers I have turned down. These are all AI slop companies. One of them transcribes documents. I think one of them sucks your cock. One of them blows smoke up your ass. I don't give a...
By the way, if I ever get any of these, I will absolutely sell out. I will sell out in a hot second. I couldn't even, like, you guys wouldn't even believe how fast I would sell out. I would sell out so fast. It'd be like, whoa, he really sold out very quickly. And then I'm just like there in my fucking Labubu covered Lamborghini because I'm just as shallow as everyone else. And I'm like, yeah. All right. I'm just wearing a giant Labubu. It's me in a costume. That cost $1 million. I didn't need it or anything like that, but I wanted it and I had the money because I sold out.
I don't read them. I'm not taking them. I would take a company if a good...
It's a traumatic year for me, LOL. Yeah. I get it, Renee's. I get it.
Company would approach me and give me money to promote a good product. I would take the money, but that is yet to happen.
It was good. I have one starting middle school and one starting high school. Baby is in her last year of elementary. Oh, wow.
If you want to support me, you can go to patreon.com/artchad. I have a media club. I have a private Discord. Your name in the credits. Private content.
These make up to 18% of global luxury buyers, yet they drive 50% of total luxury market revenue. This cohort is highly diverse, but the largest segment is what McKinsey calls status seekers. Under 35, focused on high visibility, logo-driven purchases, and following trends fueled by social media. Status seekers represent nearly 40%.
I'm over 35. I don't care. Is my audio still coming through clean? Can you guys not lie to me? I mean, there's really not a lot of people here, so would you guys just not lie to me?
percent of all aspirational luxury consumers, meaning that young consumers motivated by status now account for around 20% of luxury industry sales. Many in this demographic stretch their budgets for luxury items, prioritizing first and foremost the appearance of affluence, and most of the time at the expense of long-term financial security. Now, keep all of this in mind.
Who gives a shit?
Because it's time to talk about status. The author, W. David Marks, no relation, claims that status is the ultimate social taboo. Greater than sex, greater than discussing...
Okay, thanks, guys. I'm going to believe you. And just assume my audio is okay now.
Income, greater than making fun of a man because he's short. We are always participating in status games with each other, no matter the context. Status games aren't exclusive to making more money or being more attractive. They are contingent on what quantifies status in your in-group. For example, your in-group could be the philosophy department of your university. Your status in that group may not be predicated on income or beauty, but it may be something like how many books you've read, how long you've been studying that week.
No. It is always predicated on income or beauty. So let's not... I know you're saying a hypothetical, and be like, hypothetically, in this nerd-ass group, maybe your fucking status isn't based on your looks and income. But it is. Even in the nerd groups, the good-looking one of the nerds has a higher status. This is a fact. This is a stone-cold fact. And you can't... Even you making a hypothetical about it's too unbelievable. I understand hypotheticals are supposed to be, hypothetical. I get that. I understand that. But, let's be real. Looks always matter. Money always matters. These are irrefutable. You cannot do anything about that. That is always going to be the case. Looks are important. Money is important. Anyways, go on. Let's hear your nonsense hypothetical.
How many continental philosophers can you name drop in a single sentence? In contrast, your in-group might be billionaires, and your status in that group is contingent on how big your boat is, where you vacation, and what model you're fucking that week. W. David Marks claims that because status games are always being played, no matter the context, that status-seeking behavior is actually the primary driver of cultural production. The drive for status is...
That's a good point. That is a very good point, because it plays into the entire De Beers thing, right? It plays into the entire Beanie Baby thing, and it plays into the entire crypto market. And back to the tulips thing. It is simply a status symbol. You don't need tulips with little designs on them, right? No one actually needs that. This is a status symbol. For you to look like you're better than your cohorts. I can completely see that, and it's the same thing today, right? It is completely about status. It's always been about status. That's the only thing that matters. You know, a boomer will have 9 Airbnbs. Why? So he can buy a Bentley. Why? So he can have a Bentley. And so other people can see him that he has a Bentley. And then, there you go. He's proud he has a Bentley. He's done better because he's got a Bentley and stuff like that. He doesn't need that. He doesn't need 9 Airbnbs. He doesn't need any of that. Somebody needs a place to live, but he needs his Bentley more than that. I'm not, it's right. He's absolutely true. And this, even if you were to go communist, and a lot of people are like, communism, it still doesn't work, because the only people that have status then are the people in charge. And you know what it always comes down to? It is the main driver of human production. The main thing that forces people to get up and work and try to make themselves $1 million or like a big house, and that's pussy. It's women. It's access to women that they want, and maybe not on like a liminal level, right? But the opportunity to do so remains. That is a sense of safety. That is a ticket to the future for them. And this is a natural biological need, right? This is why women chase money, and this is why men make money, right? This is why when you put women into careers that they don't necessarily earn, you upset the balance, right? Because it's not like women they're always going to be hypergamous. They're always going to try to get a man that makes more money than them. But if you give a woman a lot of money, well, that really limits her options, doesn't it? They never date down. Women never date down. They don't even date across. Never. And never will. The people who are engineering society in, this depopulation agenda are doing this on purpose. They know female psychology well. They can use it against them.
Is the thing that creates culture as people try to one-up each other in a given status game. For example, we could look at thrifting culture. Thrifting culture at its peak was bent on curating and collecting the tackiest and most out-of-date outfits. Most notably, the dad shoe. This newfound obsession with thrifted New Balances and Nike Monarchs then informed high fashion, prompting luxury brands like Balenciaga to create the Runner and the Triple S, or brands like Yeezy to create the Wave Runner.
These are all ugly as shit. Those are all ugly. And very dad shoes. I mean, like, they look comfortable, but that's like, those are shoes you put on to mow the lawn. No, thank you.
Ship in the 80s was all predicated on who could go heavier, spawning bands like Slayer and Sodom, bands that still influence to this day. You could find thousands of examples on how in-group status games have created culture, and please comment them below because I fucking love this shit. But I would go as far to say that Marx is objectively correct. Status seeking is the primary driver of cultural production. If we combine his thesis...
Well, yeah, status as a method to gain women. But yes, because status for status sake is pointless. There's really no reason one man has to be better than another man unless it is a mate-seeking behavior kind of situation. When a woman is looking for a man, she is naturally going to go with the man for higher status, right? The man made with a Labubu Lamborghini and stuff over the guy that does not have a Labubu Lamborghini. That's it. It's not status just for status. It's for women. And it always has been. The entire reason for the economy is so people get laid. The entire human driver, this engine, this economic powerhouse that the earth has become is strictly to get laid, strictly to pass your genes on to the next generation. Now, when that becomes not so necessary, when it's like when people start making robot like cat girls, like Elon Musk said, where you don't have to achieve anything to like get laid, or at least trick your brain into believing it's passing on its genetics to the next generation, because you can trick your own biology. This is easy. They're doing it with pornography right now. It's just it hasn't reached the level where it's become society ending. But when they produce robots that are like indistinguishable from like women, it's over then. That's when it's over. That's when no one will go to work anymore. That's it. That's it. No plumbing, no farming. That's it.
This aspirational luxury, we can start to understand the modus operandi of 2020's consumer culture. But to understand why it's a distinctly new phenomenon...
Thought says, the man speaks the truth. When you make your own money, you lose that thirstiness to it that inspires you to wear heels and shit. Yeah, and then you think you're too good, and so you don't want to have babies because you know, and then you're just like, yeah. And then nobody's interested in you because you're not putting forth the effort and stuff. You're just like constantly wearing pajama pants and shit. And so the people who are engineering society that make it a law for you to hire a certain amount of women in your corporation, it's not an accident. This is not an accident. They know exactly what's going to happen. It is a very long, drawn-out process.
We're missing a key piece. You see, my sweet viewer, so mature for his or her age, I failed to mention a simple fact.
I hate this guy.
That everything...
I don't like this guy. I really dislike this red tomato man.
...is downstream from economics. I've spoken about this a lot on my channel. One could say it's basically what the channel's about at this point. But young people have been priced out of many basic life milestones that were a given for previous generations. For example, we face record high average mortgage payments of $2,800 per month.
Anyways, since I'm not getting, what the hell? What the hell happened to my ad window? Well, I was going to do an ad, but I guess that's broken.
177% rise in tuition since 1970, adjusted for inflation.
Since I'm not getting any donos, I might as well make 16 cents doing an ad, but apparently it's broken, so I can't even do that. I don't even know where it is right now. It's not even on my desktop. No. Yep. Real professional show, John. Real professional show. I don't even care.
A 220% increase in childcare over the last 30 years, again, adjusted for inflation. And the normalization of debt, with Gen Z having more debt and credit card usage than any other generation.
That's because they use Klarna to fucking make payments on tacos, right? You have to eat every day, and if you start making payments on tacos and like pizzas and stuff like that, and it's not like, oh, well, maybe you just shouldn't eat today. What? What? I'm not so. I know people like boomers would be like, well, you could easily go get a bag of rice and some water and like, yeah, but can they? Like, is that what you want to do when you come home from working at TJ Maxx all day? Fucking boil water over a fucking like a hobo, like a burning barrel, and then, you know, boil some rice and then eat a little bit of rice and shit like that. And that still costs like a half a day's wage. So it's like, fuck that.
The same age. And all of this.
Non-stock says 13 cents after taxes. See, I'm not buying rice. I can't buy... With tonight, what I'm going to make, it's not going to make me rice. I have no rice to feed my little kids and stuff like that. They're riceless. They're just... Please. I'm like, I'm sorry, Knob won't donate.
The real hourly median wage has only risen by like 10% since 19...
If you finance your delivery order, you should put yourself down. I never get deliveries. I never do that because I don't want people like handling my food that I don't know. But yeah, too many people do the delivery route, and I don't really get that. It's like twice the price, which is already expensive. If you've ever like DoorDashed or Uber Eats, like Five Guys, like the burger place, it is insane. Are you kidding me? It's like $70 for a burger. Like, it's not, and when it gets to you, it's like lukewarm and no.
70. When I rattle off stats like these, and there are many, people often refute my claims of despair with the simple fact...
Onia says rice soaked in butter is delicious. Well, I didn't even say butter, dude. Like butter, I'm definitely not affording butter. That's crazy.
That we still exist in material...
That's concentrated milk. I don't even have milk money. 16 cents, which I didn't do. Won't even... No butter for me.
Prosperity. We're not going hungry. We have shelter. We don't work too much.
I haven't had anything delivered to my house in over 2 years. I have. I've gotten pizzas, but like not... Actually, I don't know. Jess orders a pizza. But we don't really do that all that often. It's like once in a while.
We have a decent amount of free time we can consume. You know, things are generally fine. And to that, I would say yes. I agree with you. Things are generally fine. But what is...
I've found it's only worth buying from Domino's Pizzas, depending on the deal. Yeah, we have a Domino's that's like less than a mile from here, so it's actually not that bad.
What does that mean for a culture that's been priced...
Milk Money, another 90s movie. That's right. Right. They saved all their milk money so they could see they can go buy a prostitute to see her boobs. What the fuck was going on in the 90s, man? What was going on in the 90s?
Out of its own future. What are the spiritual consequences for almost half of people under 35 believing they will never own a home, when almost 30% either don't want or genuinely believe they will never be able to afford a family? What is the point of fucking material prosperity if we have no future? This is the undeniable meaning crisis of millennials and Gen Z. We live a life of no milestones or mountains, no struggles or goals, just a slog of spiritual stagnation from cradle to grave. The West has fucked up spiritually so bad that 20-year-olds are converting to Islam for fun. This lack
for fun.
What marketing strategist Eugene Healy calls little treat culture. With the normalization of debt and young people no longer saving for things like homes and babies, we inadvertently have more disposable income. Living paycheck to paycheck doesn't really matter when you're not going to do anything important with your money anyways. This increase in disposable income has created a shift into new signifiers of wealth and luxury.
I don't think it's about wealth and luxury, like signifiers of status or anything like that. I think it's just people like, I don't know, look, there's this entire thing with park sloppers, right? Where they go and they like pretend they're little kids and they ride around on their fat scooters and they eat ice cream and they're like, yay, I'm happy. Unlike when I was, I think we just have a lot of trauma. We're all just damaged in some very deep way where we didn't get to be kids like we should have been. And when we became young adults, we weren't able to like start our own families, which is another kind of trauma, right? Which is like we can't even like start our own families to make us like responsible and shit like that. We don't have the money for that. So we might as well just relive our childhood. And this is why those fat nerds love Star Wars. And then those park sloppers just ride around and they're like fucking 500 pounds and they're like, I'm having fun. I'm living a good life. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're a broken human being. You're a broken human being. You're not getting better. You're getting worse. You're getting older and fatter.
Things as small as a $9 croissant, a matcha latte, a Labubu keychain, or things as big as a Crusette pot set, a Smeg toaster, or those fucking steel suitcases. Oh God, how I hate those steel suitcases. Almost all...
Don't even know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? What steel suitcases?
All product categories now have an aspirational luxury version of themselves. And these...
Onia says, I don't tip. Get a better job. I tip. I tip well. I don't want people to like be mad at me when I come in. You know? And I know how it is. Look, I've worked in restaurants too. Just like every normal person. You got to tip. Yeah, so you just got it, man. I mean, like, you just got to.
You may not have land, a house, a family, or a car, but you have the same luxury consumer garbage that people with actual wealth have, in the sense that status-seeking drives cultural production. Aspirational luxury objects in lieu of tangible wealth and equity are now the dominant form of consumption. These are the objects we post on...
Thought says if you can't afford a tip, you're the one who needs a better job. No? Well, here's the thing. He didn't say he couldn't afford a tip. He said he doesn't tip. Those are different. Not being able to afford a tip is honestly more excusable, but like not tipping because on a stance, although I understand that because tipping culture has gone absolutely out of control, but that's because it's impossible to live on the wages that are being paid at like restaurants, and they still need people to work there. And so there's like a weird kind of thing going on. So yeah, people get extra pissed when you don't tip because they're barely scraping by and they probably already have 2 or 3 jobs as it is. So just tip them. Just fucking tip them. It's like, I mean, a bad tip is like 10% and a decent tip is like 20 or 30%. So, I mean, just factor it in, dude. Don't be... I mean, I get it. I 100% get it. You don't want a fucking extra 25% on your bill. I understand that. That's annoying. Do it anyway. You just got to do it anyway. Right? I agree. They should pay the people more, and there's like a million problems. We can really go down this road. But just fucking tip them. Okay? Just don't be like that. Don't do that.
On social media, the objects we decorate our basement studio apartments with, a performance of luxury and a simulation of wealth in a generation that has lost access to its own future.
Oniha says they want you to tip the fucking gas station. So don't tip them at the gas station. You think I'm tipping baristas at Starbucks? No. Of course not. You think everybody wants a tip. Everyone who does absolutely... Okay, just because you turned a fucking iPad around for me to put no tip. That's what you do. No tip. And if it's like not obvious, be like, hey, how can I not tip you? Because I'm not tipping you unless you actually do service. And it is at least good. It's decent. Right? There's certain places I'm not going to fucking tip you. I'm not going to tip you. Okay? Certain things, of course, I will. But if you're not working that job, I'm not going to fucking tip you. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous for you to even have the option for me to tip you. That's fucking stupid. By the way, this show does run on tips. Just saying.
Sure. So, what happens in a culture when all wealth is simulated? Decades ago, the French philosopher Jean Baudrillard warned us the simulation would become more real than reality itself. In his 1981 book, Simulacra and Simulation...
Arden Charlie says, who can afford to go to Starbucks these days? I quit energy drinks because $4 power drinks is out of hand. I don't go to Starbucks. I'm just, I'm trying to make up a scenario. I don't go to Starbucks. I mean, not regularly. I haven't been to one in... I couldn't even tell you. But we have like a latte machine. It's called Jess.
Baudrillard describes how modern society is dominated by images, symbols, and signs, to the extent that our experience of reality...
$5 flat delivery fee for drivers, and that's it. That's fine. Some drivers go fucking nuts, though. Like, they're all like, this is all you give me? This is your tip? A $5 tip? I'm going to shit on your food. Then you're like... But I tipped you. I gave you optional money. You accepted the job. I didn't have to tip you. I chose to tip you. And now you're losing your shit because I only gave you $5. Get the fuck out of here. This is another reason I don't get delivery. I don't do deliveries because it's just no. It's stupid. No. I'm sorry it's hard for you. I'm sorry that you're like Ubering and shit and like bringing people their food and like it's not making enough for you to actually make ends meet. I am sorry about that. It's not my problem. It's really not my fucking problem. So any extra money that I give you, be thankful for. Because you accepted the job. There was no stipulation that, like, if I do this job, I have to get an extra 20% or else I'm not doing. No, that was in no way implied, right? And even if that's what you expected, you should message the guy and be like, yo, I'm not picking up your food unless you give me a 20% tip. There you go. And if he says no, say, fine, it's over at the Wendy's or whatever. It's sitting there. I'm not picking it up. Get somebody else. Sure, you're going to get complained about and all that and probably lose your job for Uber Eats. Who gives a fuck? I saw a post today where there was a fire in the kitchen at Dunkin' Donuts. And the staff at Dunkin' Donuts was standing around staring at it. The kitchen was burning down. And they were just like, I don't fucking care. And I get that. I understand that 100%. Because the people at Dunkin' Donuts fucking suck. But also, it must suck working at Dunkin' Donuts. They don't pay you shit. You have to get up like 4 a.m. to go do stupid bullshit. And then people come in all grouchy. And they probably don't tip all that well because you're working at fucking Dunkin' Donuts. So yeah, the kitchen catches on fire. You know what I'm doing? I'm standing there and probably filming. If that. Otherwise, I'm just like, I hope I catch on fire too. See? I get it. I understand. 100% I understand. And then people are all like, oh, well, this generation is worthless. No, it's not the generation. It's not. People don't give a fuck. People don't care. And I wouldn't either. And neither would you. So if you're like, oh, this generation's worthless. They're supposed to protect us from the Chinese and the Russians. I'm sorry. Your argument is like, this generation is worthless. Therefore, you're afraid of the Chinese and the Russians because these people won't sacrifice their lives to give you coffee. Yeah, these people aren't signing up to war in a country that essentially hates them, that won't give them any sort of opportunity whatsoever, where they can't afford a house or a family or you can even get laid. No, they just have to work at Dunkin' Donuts and watch the place burn down. And you're like, oh, why don't you die for me now? I can't believe people sometimes. But on the same note, I can believe them so much. I absolutely believe that's the attitude that you would have. You're angry at children not dying for you. These were actual comments I saw. They were angry. They were upset that these people weren't dying in wars for them. Why? Why? If there was a draft today, what would be the point of anybody going to war? Why? So we could keep the boomers rich? And then go back to the menial jobs, making nothing and having absolutely no future for ourselves, but just keeping you nice and comfy and cozy? Think about the audacity of that. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. To be so spoiled. I'm talking about the boomers here. The boomers are easily the most spoiled generation in history. To be so spoiled, you're mad at children not willing to die for you. After giving them nothing. After robbing them blind. After destroying every scrap of prosperity and promise that this country had, you're now angry at them for not dying for you. Look, I'm not a Gen Z. I'm not. I'm a mid-millennial. But I ain't fucking dying for you either. I ain't fucking dying for no one. No. Don't be like, well, what about all this country's giving you so much? Bullshit. It's giving me the same as everybody else, which is nothing. It's giving the boomers everything. Absolutely everything. So, me dying in fucking whatever goddamn war they want me to do is just off the table. Look, maybe during Vietnam it was different, even though that was a stupid fucking war too. But at least when people came back from that, they could buy a house for $10,000 and raise a family, even though they'd fucking scream in the middle of the night when their ice, with their fridge made ice, fucking shooting at it and shit, and then waking up choking their wife and stuff because they have terrible PTSD. I don't need that. Throw me in jail. Throw me in fucking jail. No reason. And the same goes for all the millennials and all the Gen Zs and shit like that. There's a bunch of old people want to send them off to war just so they can keep their nice, cozy fucking 7 houses and shit. No, there's got to be some give and take. You think people are going to go off to war and then come back to nothing? Going back to the Dunkin' Donuts where they watch the kitchen burn down because they want to jump in the fire too? It's stupid. It's a very stupid thing. It's a very stupid thing to think. But a lot of people do think that. A lot of people do think that. I don't know if it's like Fox News or CNN that's like encouraging them, and they're like, "Oh, you're just entitled. You just want anything handed to you, like they handed it to you." I don't want it like that. Just a fair shot would be okay instead of draining every fucking dollar before we're even born. $160,000 to $7 million. That was a house. It was an expensive house. But that's the same rise, dude. And you expect young kids to go to war thinking they're going to come back and have the fruits of this great country? No, it's just still going to be you. You're going to watch it on TV and be like, oh, I'm glad I'm not there. Watching kids explode. Watching fucking drone bombs come and like blow people apart. And you'd be like, wow, I'm going to go swim in my pool and fuck my hookers and shit like that. No. Nah.
Reality is simulated through our interactions with these signs rather than with reality itself. He refers to these signs and symbols as simulacra, which literally just means a copy of a copy. In a media-dominant culture, a sign slowly becomes untethered from reality as it is copied again and again, passing through 4 distinct stages before it becomes what he calls a pure simulacra. So what the fuck does that mean? Well, let me give you an example. We can imagine a first-order simulacra as a vintage photograph of a cowboy from the 1890s. This is a photograph of a real person, a faithful copy of reality itself. But what if we abstracted just a...
Yeah, and I feel like his colors are better than yours. Somebody needs to work on your camera.
Bit from reality. We can imagine the second stage of simulation as a classic Western movie from the 1950s. Media has taken the idea of the cowboy, real people that existed in a real context, and narrativized it. The cowboys in the movie are not real cowboys. The stories in the movies are not true stories, but it is an abstraction of a symbol that was once real. This second stage is an unfaithful copy. Now the third stage would be something like Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained, a contemporary movie, but a movie that's in direct conversation with classic 1950s
Now it says, John, you're too old to go to war. No, I'm not.
Westerns. In the third stage, you not only have an abstraction of reality, but an absence of reality. A copy...
Trust me, I wish that was true. I'm not.
...with no original.
Yes, there is a first round draft where it's people like under the age of like 27, I believe. But after that's been exhausted, I'm on the ticket. They're coming to my door and be like, you're coming too. And you don't think that's their fucking plan? You think war is really about like anything besides killing millions of people? That's it. That's all. That's what it's really about. The more they can kill, the better.
Reference to
doesn't really have anything to do with land and shit like that, or ideology, or no, nothing like that. It's just a meat grinder. That's what it is. So if there is a war, if there is a fucking draft and shit like that, me and my family, we're getting on a plane and we're leaving. And never coming back. That's what I'm going to do. I'm leaving and never coming back. You guys will see me again because the internet exists. And I'll just keep doing this show. It doesn't matter where I am. I can be sitting anywhere. I'm going to round my family up and we're going to fucking leave. I don't care where I'm going to go. Probably somewhere sunny, somewhere cheap. Southeast Asia, New Zealand. I don't know. Somewhere nice. Not going to war. No, and I'm going long before they start going around knocking on people's doors. I'll see the signs. I'm not going to be like, no, I will see the signs. There will be signs, and I'm going to go down south, below the equator. Somewhere. I don't know. Probably not going to tell you.
To a reference. The fourth and final stage.
Call me a coward. I don't give a shit. You can call me a coward all you want while you're getting blown to bits. Because I'm not retarded, all right? There's going to be a bunch of movies that come out about like, oh, glory on the battlefield and like, serving your country. And they're going to make it real. Just like after fucking 9/11. There was a bunch of movies about the military and shit like that and signing up. They're going to use the media to convince people, and stupid people will line up in droves. They'll line up in droves, and they'll just get bam, 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 shot all the way up and blown to bits and stuff like that, and it'll be really sad. And I won't be there though. I won't be there. No fucking way. Nope.
It's pure simulacra. This would be something like a Django Unchained Halloween costume. A sign that bears no relation to the original reality of the cowboy, but only...
Okay, Knobster says, okay, you could be gay in the Navy or laughed at in the Coast Guard. No, I'm not doing either of those things. Army, 17 to 35. Navy, 17 to 41. Air Force, 17 to 39. So I'm only 37. So, yeah, I could be in most of these. I could be in the Space Force. Yay. Look at me, I'm an astronaut. I'm getting blown out of the sky. Blown out of space.
To other signs. Baudrillard would call this world of signs hyperreality. When the simulation or sign completely replaces the real world. Now, we have pure simulacra.
That is pretty cowardly, lol. Okay, I don't care. I don't.
No
look, dude. My life is more important than yours. I know that for a fact, Knob. I really do. I know that for a fact. So I don't. What are people on the internet gonna call me a coward? You know what the people on the internet call me now? It's way worse than that. You think the people on the internet are gonna hurt my feelings? No. First of all, you have no idea like what kind of like upbringing I had, like what, and I'm not willing to go down that road. Really, it's very complicated, and there's a lot of trauma involved. But trust me, my feelings have been hurt way worse throughout my entire life than anything the internet can do. It is not going to be a problem. It is not going to be a problem. What are they going to do? Say mean words as they're getting blown to bits. No. I don't care. I don't.
And hyperreality. A world...
And here's the thing. Even if you go off to the fucking army and stuff like that, and then you miraculously come home, you aren't okay. I mean, maybe, but most likely you're not okay. You are fucked up. People who take other people's lives, they're not okay. Like, they just don't come back okay. Even going through the entire process, and who knows what they're injecting into you in like boot camp and stuff. You might die anyway. You're not going to be okay. You go that direction, you're not coming back. Even if you do, you're not the same person. No, thank you. I've fought my fights. I've had my battles. I'm not interested in fighting yours.
Made of pure simulacras.
Not
Let's
even
take
a little.
These ideas and apply them to how we think about wealth and status. In the first stage, wealth would be contingent on land. You can farm on it, you can flip it, you can build an empire on it, but that all requires the ownership of physical space. The second stage would be like owning a house in a suburban neighborhood. You own the house, which is on land, but because of the HOA, you can't build whatever you want on that land.
James says, Albert 1, Albert 2, Abel, Baker, and Ham. You have to have one of those monkey names to go into space now. So I guess Space Force is out for me. Unless I change my name to Ham. Do they need a test monkey? Okay, fine. You shoot me into space. Leave me there. For all I care. I'm still not going to war. I ain't going to war. I'd rather die in space. No, I'm not doing that either. But It's a joke. That's funny they shot monkeys into space, though. Why can't they draft monkeys and, like, teach them to, like, fight? Because they're not trying to kill monkeys, right? They're trying to kill people. Like Knob. Right? Like Knob.
You couldn't start a factory or an opium farm, but you did.
I have too much mic gain and not much volume. Like, they just don't come back okay. Even going through the entire process. And who knows what they're injecting into you. I don't know what the fuck happened to my goddamn... It's my kids, man. It's my kids. I bet they come in here and they mess with my knobs. Is this any better? See, I can't even tell because it's not changing in my headphones. So I can't even really tell what is that any better? Is that any better? See, I have to actually listen to it back like this, right? They're trying to kill people. Is this any better? See, I can't even tell because it's not changing in my headphones. So I can't even really test. What? Test. Okay. I think that might be better.
Do own the house, which is an abstraction.
Kids turn things, they press all the buttons, lock that shit down, doing it live, fuck it. Yeah, I mean, my kids find my fucking setup fascinating and stuff. There's like a bunch of like lights and buttons and stuff like that, and like switches and knobs, and like, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna fucking take a quick picture of my setup because, yeah, I can hear you. It wasn't even bothering me. Well, hopefully it's not bothering you now.
Of the purpose of land ownership, an unfaithful copy. The third stage would be a condo. Now you have no land, just property. It's like owning a house that's floating in space.
Something in the chain has too much gain. Ah! Yeah, my kids find my fucking setup fascinating and stuff. There's like a bunch of like lights and buttons and stuff like that, and like switches and knobs, and like here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna fucking take a quick picture of my setup because, yeah, I can hear you. It wasn't even bothering me. Well, hopefully it's not bothering you now.
Of the purpose of land ownership, an unfaithful copy. The third stage would be a condo. Now you have no land.
It's not like I'm getting paid
just
anymore.
Property. It's like owning a house that's floating in space.
Something in the chain has too much gain. Ah! Hello. All right, I think that's good. Okay, I think that's good.
You can't tear down the walls. You can't remodel the bathroom, but you can fill it with consumer goods. The wealth of condo owners.
Okay, you'll know if I yell at Jess. Jess! I think it sounds better. I know my kids have been in here. I know my kids have been ever fucking with my goddamn knobs. God damn it, dude. And there's no lock on that door. I gotta get a lock on the door. I just have to. Because they have to be coming in here and messing with my knobs. That's the only explanation. Because I don't know what the fuck's going on. And if they mess with it, like, look, I can see why they would do that. Because they're little kids. And they find this fascinating. And it's like, it looks cool. There's a million knobs. There's a million buttons. Everything's lit up. And there's like screens and there's lights and stuff. I have an entire studio set up here, right? And so like the mic is fun and shit like that. And then I'm in here and they want to do what I do, which is like endearing, and I love that and shit like that. But don't touch daddy's stuff. Don't touch daddy's stuff, please. Please don't.
Ownership is in reference to the wealth of homeownership, which is built upon the wealth of land ownership.
Knobs Dog says locking doorknob is like $10, bro. Well, let's see how much I've made tonight. Nope.
A copy of a copy. The fourth and final stage, the pure
Not gonna be able to afford one tonight.
simulacra of wealth, would be just the consumer goods in a rental unit. You own nothing concrete, no land, no lasting property, no equity. But
I nabbed a house built in the late 50s. Awesome. Strong as an ox. Fuck those IKEA-looking homes. Yeah, don't buy anything built after 2000. Don't do that. Don't do that. The wood is garbage. The construction is garbage. They're basically just shanties. But yeah, don't buy anything built after 2000.
possess the signs of affluence, floating free of any foundation. This is pure simulation. Wealth measured in transient, highly visible goods, rather than any material stake or productive asset. We now exist in the hyperreality of wealth, a hyper-real simulation of affluence in response.
Brandon says way better. Okay, great. And I'm still coming through clearly, and like the volume's loud enough and all that. Right? Is that still good? I wish I could run ads. I don't know why my ad window's not working now. See, it just does that. I can't even change it. Can't even change it. Can't even do the thing.
Response to
so I can't even make $2.
Economic exclusion. We seek status and create culture through aspirational luxury. Buying things for the
Jameson says, "You sound fine."
Version of yourself you see in the future. But a future that will never come.
Whatever.
It's what separates all of this from previous consumer
This entire stream has just been an absolute wash, dude. I don't know. It's just been a fucking wash.
trends and makes them fundamentally different. We are inside a simulation that is manufacturing new forms of aspiration, new symbols we can name ourselves
Yes, I scheduled the stream. I scheduled the stream, but I shouldn't change my audio output.
to and identify with. It's Labubus. It's a $20 smoothie. It's a Von Dutch hat.
Why are smoothies $20?
Whether you like it or not, this is the culture we exist within. The car is on fire, and there is no driver at the wheel. We may be in a recursive cultural simulation the likes of which no other point in history has ever even comprehended before. But at least we're all here together.
No, I don't want to be here with you. I don't like you. I don't like you, Red Lobster man. And see, the simple snapback is always going to be like, well, look at my numbers. Yeah, he's got 111,000 views on this. I cannot compete with. I have 43 people here. And thank you for being here. Hit the like button if you like. But still, I feel bad. It is what it is. I don't have the status.
Thank you for watching. Never kill yourself.
Okay, I'm not going to say. Okay, we have 12 minutes left. Do you guys just want to sit here silently? No, me neither. Me neither. So we might as well just pick something.
I just wish there was something I could do for you all, like improve public safety for disabled folks every day.
Did we already watch this one? How about that one? See, we got over that one pretty quick. You know, it's just we have 10 minutes left, so this is what we're doing. Sulk meditation. You just want to do 10 minutes of us just goose frobbing, and I'm leading the meditation.
In the world of social media, people are always trying to one-up each other by posting the most extreme content, either in order to get noticed or possibly just because they're dumb. Let's take another look at a good number of those cases. Now, we've gone over some chaotic influencer-related cases on this channel before, and if you want to see that one, I'll be linking down to the original video below, but you don't really need to see that one to understand this one. In this era of influencers, both professional and amateur, people will do almost anything to get views. Given that content is now so...
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say I was going to do anything to get views. Wavy. I like Wavy. I like Wavy. Wavy's my boy.
Influencer tourism has become a serious problem. From IRL streamers harassing locals for content to idiot pranksters facing
Oh, I hope this guy died in jail. Oh, God, I hated him so much. I hate him so much.
Potentially decades in foreign prisons, we're currently in the midst of an epidemic when it comes to overseas exploitation for views. But hey, when you're a talentless jackass, what else is there to do but harass foreigners?
Yes, are you speaking to me, Wavy?
For content, am I right?
I'm all ears.
Today we're going on an international tour of our own and cataloging some truly insane cases of social media figures getting hit with everything from deportation to time in the gulag for disrespectful behavior while visiting faraway lands. These are the internet's tourism terrorists. Let us now discuss one of the most deranged IRL streamers to ever set foot on foreign soil. A gremlin of a man whose only discernible talent is being an internationally infamous nuisance. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Somali.
Hiroshima, Nagasaki! Epstein, you'll always be one of us. We love you. You're our King Jew. You're one of us.
Johnny, real name Ramzi Khalid Ismail, is or was an American live streamer who is now facing decades of prison time for misconduct.
I really hope Jay Somali got shivved 1,000 times in prison. Me too. Me too. There's no one more deserving.
Overseas, operating disgraceful IRL live streams everywhere from Israel to Asia.
Do you have a different word for people like him, but okay, be politically correct? You know I have to be. I'm on YouTube, right? And there's, let's see, how many people are, there's one person watching on
countries
YouTube.
Like Japan.
And that one person.
And South Korea.
Oh, he left.
Wherein he essentially harassed people in public for content.
Oh my God.
Yo, what's up? I'm so sorry.
While this sort of content is nothing new for IRL streaming, Johnny is arguably
There's a reason why Japan doesn't want these people in their country. And, you know, there's a huge push to get tons of these people in the country, but I don't think they're going to be down with that.
Biggest scumbag in the genre. His shtick is simple. Go to a foreign country, turn the camera on, and harass the locals with middle school tier racism. You know, go up to an Asian guy and say ching chong kind of thing. Johnny goes to Japan. The Somali spiral and infamy really all starts with a rather ill-intended trip to Japan. Lacking any sort of comedic ability or interesting personality.
Oh no, dude. Oh no.
Traits, Johnny reckoned he could get some views by cracking a few Hiroshima jokes on a subway filled with Japanese people. In June of 2023, while riding the train, Somali taunted Japanese passengers, the pencil-necked streamer threatening that they were going to get bombed again.
You know Hiroshima? You know Hiroshima? Nagasaki? You know? Why you do this? Pearl Harbor? Hiroshima, Nagasaki! Yes, man, nigga, yes, Hiroshima. The spy balloon. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, you know
what? See, here's the problem. Here's the problem with Japan. They're all too polite just to beat the fuck out of him. And they should have. They should have all just beat him senseless. Like, damn near to death, if not completely. So they're just sitting there and taking it. They're just way too polite. At least one of them should have just started beating him senseless. I would have watched that. I would have subscribed to that.
What we do to you niggas? Hiroshima, Nagasaki. We destroy it. Because you niggas don't know how to behave. Wallahi billahi wa ta'ala. I swear to God. You do again, we're gonna do again. You understand?
After harassing the man in the white shirt for some time, Somali is eventually confronted by an English-speaking passenger who shuts the mush-mouthed streamer up for a time.
Where you from? You know where I'm from? Where you from? I'm from America.
You're from America?
Yes.
So am I.
You're from America?
Yeah, you're being obnoxious. Do you think I'm Japanese?
Where are you from?
I'm from America.
Where are you from? What's your name?
Texas, buddy. Why don't you sit your ass?
Korean War, you know what happened to you?
Come on, you're obnoxious, brother.
Don't touch me,
Leave
brother.
this guy alone.
Korean War, North Korean War, you know what we did to you. Fuck your ass up.
The Japanese don't play when it comes to
Good. The guy from America knows. He's all like, dude, I'll fuck your ass up, dude. These people are all Japanese. I'm coming from Texas. I'll beat the shit out of you. Good. Do it. Do it. Oh my God, dude. I would do the same thing. Because he's just fucking harassing people. I would beat him senseless. I would. Just because, like, you can't just sit around and watch somebody do that. They're fucking causing a huge goddamn issue. And so, yeah. I just fucking, just clean them out. Bam! Right? At least this guy's trying to talk him down and be like, yo, you should stop because I'm going to beat your ass. I'd probably just beat his ass. I'd be like, there's no reasoning with these people. There's no reasoning with these Somalians. They have a brain the size of a walnut. Just fucking beat them. They'll understand pain. They can understand pain. That's it. That's all.
Public rudeness and peace disturbances, especially from a foreigner who's recording said violation.
The Nippon government should make it illegal to carry katanas around again just to take care of situations like this. They're just too polite. That's just, they've been trained for decades and decades, right? And they're too civilized. There is a thing about being too civilized, right? And America, like in England too, England is too civilized. America is not that civilized like that. We'll beat the fuck out of you. You causing problems, we'll beat the fuck out of you. It's different. I imagine it would be the same in Australia, but apparently not there either. There is a thing about being too civilized where you just take it and take it and take it and just try to be as polite as possible.
For his own financial gain. This incident went viral online and even made it to the Japanese press, with many articles and online commenters criticizing this fucking idiot, telling him to get the hell out of their country. Still intent on farming the Japanese for content, Johnny, in an effort to not get deported, would apologize for his nuclear incident. But needless to say, the story isn't over.
Apologize truly to first the two men on the train, the people in the country of Japan.
Because
no, I don't accept. Get the fuck out.
Of the Hiroshima incident.
And don't come back to America. Go to Somalia. Stay in Somalia. Don't come back here. Because you, like, there's a reason why he doesn't do it in America, right? You'll get shot. You'll catch a bullet, man.
Johnny found himself one of the most hated foreigners in Japan, and he starts getting confronted on the street, not just by Japanese people, but the passport bros were stepping up to him as well.
Is that me?
Yeah, this you?
No.
You sure?
It's me, yeah, what's up?
I got a problem with you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
wife is Japanese.
Okay.
You go there insulting people like that. You know how many people...
That dude looks jacked too. That dude looks jacked. Now you got a problem.
Died from Hiroshima joking about that shit?
I know.
So why are you joking about the people?
I was drunk.
Fucked up, bro.
I was drunk. I know
how many families suffered, people suffered because of that? You're on the train harassing people like that?
Just hit him.
Don't do it again, bro. And you're on there fucking with them like that? For what, bro? For a little bit of clout? It's pathetic. Yeah, you have any idea how awful Hiroshima was?
I know now.
Bro,
I know now. Dude, he's just trying not to get hit. Hit him. Hit him.
Someone going to the black community in the U.S. joking about slavery.
Well, slavery was funny. Let's be fair.
Most awful things that ever happened in history.
Slavery.
You don't joke about that shit, bro.
I was drunk.
And he was a Somalian. There's not even... come on, dude. Look. There's a lot of different types of black people. Somalians weren't slaves, all right? The slaves came from, like the Congo and shit. They're different. He's just being a fucking asshole. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Okay. We're done. I hope you guys have a good night. Thanks for coming. Hit the like button. I'd appreciate that. I'm going to go watch Alien Earth because I want to watch that show. But I'll be back tomorrow night. So I hope you guys have a good night and stay cool and be awesome. And hopefully my sound settings don't get fucked with again. because that would be most unfortunate. I would really be upset about that. I'll have to figure something out. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you have a good night and be awesome to each other and drink a lot of water and get a good night's sleep and take care of yourselves. Because I care about you too. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Good night.
I'm an incredible soul, unhinged and enraged like a bulldog's fierce growl. I'm spitting fire, burning through these trees, questioning the world, unraveling conspiracies. Talking about Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster too. Government lies, they're feeding me their goo. I'm diving deep into this rabbit hole, uncovering the truth, setting fire to their control. I got small nipples, but my voice is loud, roaring like thunder in this crazy crowd. They say I'm crazy, but I call it woke, unraveling the madness with every word